Hello everybody, Cedric and CJ. Here's CRWC, and we will be reviewing All Elite Wrestling's Collision. And look, this starts off, not the show, but in general, there's been drama going around. And people rather hear about the real life drama of wrestling, where that's just not something we care about. You know? But I listen to other podcasts and they'll cover it and whatnot. And it's a battle going on. It's going to be an ongoing battle, because what happens is that you've got the indie side of things, then you got Dynamite, which initially is not that so much anymore, but Dynamite was what you call nationally exposed indie wrestling. So all the indie stuff that people was loving, and that's all that they really had, counted to WWF/WWE, it was that. So now what happens is you've got AEW that has now, and they try to do something different with Rampage. But Rampage, I don't even know why they did it, but they can remove Rampage. Yeah. They really can. Or turn it into something else. But Collision, people don't understand why Collision is what it is. They don't get it. They don't understand. So I want to explain it to y'all so that you can understand what's going to happen this point going forward with AEW Collision. The TV station, the owners of that, they said, listen, Tony Khan, we'd like to have an AEW up there. And, you know, we want it. We're willing to give you $52 million a year starting, might I add. But you got to have CM Punk up there. Without CM Punk, you get nothing. And what that does is that allows CM Punk to have the bearings to say my way or no way. Now, anyone hearing that hears authoritarianism. You're going to do this my way or nobody gets anything. And people get mad about that. There are lots of things you can look at in your life beyond wrestling and see authoritarianism that you're actually all right with. But for this, CM Punk has already said to everyone, I'm trying to run a business. And that was over roughly 2 years ago. Trying to run the business of CM Punk. What's good business? Anything that pulls money in. Legitimate, honest, reoccurring money, and not fly-by-night money. So you don't want to run hot shots. You want to run a good, legitimate professional wrestling show, which is what he's trying to do. And the entire situation with not allowing Christopher Daniels and stuff on, it's not that he has any heat with Daniels. It's not that he has any heat with most. It's just that the Young Bucks are preventing people from coming to work because they're friends with Punk. And they're the ones that fought them in the room when they were posing a threat. Just saying, if you want to be angry and side with them, just hear the logic of this like less than 15-second explanation. You're in your room. Someone comes to your room. A fight breaks out. Is everyone supposed to believe that you called them in there just to fight? Just think about that. So, especially if you're injured, an injured person isn't going to call somebody in to fight.
Nope.
Not happening.
Not at all.
So, Punk isn't letting people on. Christopher Daniels and CM Punk, more or less decent friends, if not good friends. And he probably told Christopher Daniels, you know, you're a talent director. I gotta make an example. It's nothing personal, but it's screw them. They're not going to let my friend on, then I can't let their friend on. And it goes back and forth like that. That's really all that it is. That's all that's going to be. And the Young Bucks don't ever want to do proper business to do the right thing. And so it's screwed everything up. So just think about that. Think how many years it's been to get this rubber match with FTR that not many care about, and they're going to have to remind you of where it came from without explaining that it started with the Young Bucks, legitimately them starting beef with FTR while they were still in WWE, talking trash, just because people were saying that the Revival was the best tag team ever. And the Young Bucks, they got bruised egos. So, the truth is the Young Bucks are the best indie style tag team, period. You can't touch that. When it comes to professional wrestling, then that's FTR, questionably. Because there are some teams out there. You ain't seen them. And the Briscoes, they can't have that moniker anymore.
Nope.
But I could say Jay passed on having that moniker as being part of the best tag team. And you can't call them the best because they went FTR. No, they were already there. That is what you call a dream match. When you pit two teams against each other that need not ever go against each other because it's going to ruin the companies. You're the top teams in that company. That's why you don't see cross promotions like that. You don't see WWE saying, okay, I'll put this guy against your guys. Because if WWE people lose, then what's going to happen? They're going to say, y'all are weak. They're going to lose money over that. They're going to lose the clout that they've gained. So CM Punk is trying to run a business. And so you got Jungle Boy, the most recent one, that say he wanted to use legit glass on the show, where I've been cut with legit glass. I've broken a window and severed my skin up real bad. I've done that. So I can only imagine what would happen in a ring where people aren't trained and glass doesn't work with you. You bust that glass and it falls the wrong way, it is puncturing through your skin deep. You may bleed out and die in the ring, and Punk doesn't want to risk that. There's been a lot of legit glass situations and people nearly died. Okay, Cash Wheeler bled out profusely and it wasn't even glass. I'm sure y'all remember that. So Punk says we don't do that on Collision. Those lines let you know, well, we don't do that on Saturdays. That lets you know that he's in charge. He lets you know he is calling the shots. And when you watch Collision, it is a professional wrestling show. It's professional wrestling. Everything makes sense week to week. There's a furthering of each situation. That's the good thing about it. You can enjoy that. And you say, if it's so good, then why do they get half the numbers that Dynamite does if it's so good? That's because for 20 plus years, people have only known indie style wrestling and WWE more than safe wrestling. That's it. And you can tell the indie lovers out there, whoa, because that's all they care. They just want to be a part of that silliness. They're not trying to see a contest. They're not pulling for someone to necessarily win. They just want to see moves, and somebody will eventually win, and then they'll applaud their efforts. There is a market for that. I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying when it comes to longevity, professional wrestling is the longevity, because people can get bored and tired of the indies and move on to the next indie and then say it's all the same and don't want to watch anything and say wrestling is boring. But when it's professional wrestling done correctly, you're going to get a mixed bag of things without anything being silly. CM Punk is trying to get that done. And half the AEW audience will not watch Collision because it's CM Punk. That's why they only do half the numbers. But that half that he's got, they can tell their friends, and their friends can say, I don't trust. But then they start watching. They say, oh, this does make sense. And people are guilt through association. They see AEW Dynamite. And then next thing you know, what do they want to do? They want to see Collision, but they just saw Dynamite. It's probably more of the same. They're not going to watch it. So I just wanted to give that spiel in the opening and whatnot. So, I hope y'all understand what's going on with CM Punk and everything, because that's what this was about. And I thought I'd just give my 10-minute 2 cents on the drama and what it culminates into, so that you can have the best information possible and viewpoints, instead of just, because I'm not doing this partisan. I've observed both. I've tried to watch both. I've done my due diligence in watching indie, WWE, and the lack thereof of professional wrestling. So I've done my due diligence, and I just want to give y'all the best of that. So, with that said, we can get into AEW Collision. So this opens up. They did their openings, which was nice. Then Samoa Joe comes to the ring. He's going to battle Golden Vampire. And they didn't show him in the ring. And next thing you know, this dude, he jumps Joe, throws him into the post. And I was like, that's Punk. He threw him into the post, and then he took 2 steps. I was like, that's Punk. Cedra and I agreed, that was Punk.
Yeah, I was going on his body shape.
That too. And so, he threw him into the post, then threw him into the railing. Got Joe in the ring, GTS. And I noted that we noticed it was Punk when he was outside the ring at the post. Mm-hmm. And then Punk got on the mic and shouted, "I accept, bitch." I was like, okay. Punk is looking like, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. And I'm like, yeah, you weren't pissed when your house was bugging out and you were scared for your third life.
For real.
But
you weren't pissed when you actually wrestled them, when you were wrestling for your third life. Mm-hmm. And that GTS looked like shit.
Yeah, it's piss poor looking. Joe is a big dude. Mm-hmm. So I get it. But Joe sold it.
He sold it. This would have been, of course he had to do GTS, to pop the crowd and all that. But it would have been a perfect time to introduce something new and devastating that you don't have to lift somebody for. You too old to be firemen carrying people. But that's just me.
Maybe, I don't think he's too old, but I would think, he could have done a running knee kick,
If it's not age, it's something else, because his GTSs they never look good. Since he's come back, they don't look good.
I can't disagree. I can't. Maybe he does need something new. Maybe. And the thing is, when you get known for something, you end up not wanting to shy from that. It becomes your bread and butter,
Think of something else that can give you more bread and butter. Yeah, we know he do GTS, but man, when he did this, they just fell apart. They had to sweep him up. Something. I mean, because that dynamic is the whole reason why Tanahashi is screwed right now.
Yeah. Tanahashi Hiroshi, or Americanized Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yeah, his knees are shredded. It's bone on bone.
And he can't stop.
Yep, because it's his bread and butter. He needs to stop and just do something else. He's got a litany of moves, but New Japan doesn't see him as the shining star anymore. So he's out the pasture. That's where Tanahashi is. Next we get Jay White versus Dalton Castle.
That was a good match.
It was a good match. And I'm trying to not write so many notes, but good grief, it's difficult. It is difficult. So Castle, he controlled the opening parts of the match with some Greco-Roman slams and some mat wrestling, which was really good. Mm-hmm. Dalton missed a knee in the corner, flips over the top rope, spills onto the apron to the floor, seemingly smacking his face on the mat. That's a hell of a bump to take. Mm-hmm. It is. It was weird because as Jay slowly lost control of the match, Juice Robinson, he just went, I guess, Looney Tunes and chased the boys like a monster. It was a little funny.
Here's the thing. The boys come out with Dalton, and the boys are both, they're twin set balls of energy. Out there hooting and jumping and fanning. They're a whole little party all by themselves. And then you have Juice and the Guns and Cardblade accompanying Jay, and they're a whole little party like all by themselves. So there's a lot of activity going on outside the ring.
Yeah.
Not even really interrupting the match. It was just a lot going on outside the ring.
He just and chased them.
I would have ran.
I would have too. I'm not even gonna lie. It would have startled me. During the break, Jay White, he took control and hit a nice DDT in the ropes for a 2 count. When they got back from the break, Jay retained control. Castle trying to make comebacks just wasn't happening. The match spills outside where Jay lays in 2 loud chops at the announcer's table. Jay gets into the ring, and Bullet Club, they surround Dalton. The boys leap over the top rope to the outside to break that up. Inside, Jay misses the Blade Runner, hits a Sambo Slam that they keep calling the Uranage, but it's not. Then he got a sidearm choke that he held on for a while. Then hit a sleeper suplex. Dalton was loopy after that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much of that rattled him, or if Dalton became that great of a salesman. I wonder. But he hit the Blade Runner, got the pin. But Castle was reaching for the ropes during the pin.
Yeah. It was the hand of fate.
Yep. Like he couldn't kick out, but he could reach. So that was showing some presence of mind. So that was good. After the match, Jay speaks on the Elite, line to the audience about Bullet being the top Bullet Club people. And I honestly thought that I was hoping he was going to say that they're lying, calling themselves professional wrestlers. And they're just indie people. My cardboard cutout has more wrestling ability than they do.
Cardblade's looking kind of rough. You can tell he's been traveling a little bit. He's having difficulty standing upright.
Yeah, he's a little messed up.
Got a nice crease in the center of him.
Let's see, Juice Robinson, he makes note that they drove from one place to another and only took 2 minutes to beat down their self-proclaimed god of wrestling and hospitalize them. The Guns call out the Young Bucks for cheating to beat them, which they did. Whew. Man, maybe I do need some more sleep. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I had a rough sleep. I kept waking up every 30 to 45 minutes. Next. And I like how this happened, because this promo bleeds into the Iron Savages coming out. So it's all of Iron Savages versus the Guns and Juice Robinson. So it's versus Bullet Club Gold. They got the full intro, which is needed for those who think they're still Bear Country, and I get it. That's who they used to be.
I think we're the only ones who remember them as Bear Country. I'm being honest
no,
with you.
listen to Jim Cornette and Brian Last sound like freaking idiots talking about it and trying to pick on them. I'm like, y'all don't know jack. But I like how they got through the whole thing, sipping sauce and living hoss. I like that. We're the Iron Savages. That's good. They showed their power in the beginning of the match, in the opening and whatnot, which is good. But then it wasn't long. After a cheap shot from the apron, the Guns took over. The heels built heat on Bronson.
They whooped Bronson's ass for 8 minutes, man. He got whooped.
Yes. They built a lot of heat that went into the break. Back from the break, Bronson, because I got the wrong name here, but Bronson slowly fought back, only to get cut down. Then Boulder makes the hot tag. Bronson makes the hot tag, and Boulder, he takes control, showing some amazing power and whatnot. I'm going to give it up. He showed well. I like when he flexed.
Yeah.
I like when he flexed. The Guns, they tried to set up 310 to Yuma, but Boulder, he just stood still, and it looked like, I think it was Austin that Colton, who jumped up and just fell on his back.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened. I had to roll it back because I just saw him flail in the air and then he hit the ground. What happened? It was a failed 310 to Human. They missed the train. They missed the train.
And then the Bang Bang Gang, they started working together, being in the right place at the right time. They hit big moves on each of the Iron Savages. Juice gets the finisher and scores the pinfall victory. Okay. Next. Look, you can fill it in. Okay. But I was having a hard time. Malachi Black has words about what they're doing with Billy Gunn. But he spoke so low that our TV needed a hearing aid.
So they of course they had a vignette with them putting Billy's boots in a trash compactor. But what Malachi said is that in Samaria, back in the day, of course, they believed that when you die, you go to a tunnel underground. That's like the afterlife, where in that afterlife you resume basically what your life was when you were alive, but instead of being in the light, you're just living in shadows for all eternity. And essentially that is what was going on with Billy Gunn. He was just living in shadows, a shell of his former self, and now they have ended that for him.
Hopefully. Because, look, straight up, from WWF with New Age Outlaws to Voodoo Ken Mafia, which I like. That I don't know if he's telling the truth, because I was listening to Road Dogg, then I stopped because he did some things I wasn't happy with. But he said that, VKM wasn't picking on Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He just threw some letters together, Voodoo Ken Mafia. But then, Kip Gunn, or whatever he called his name.
Yeah.
Everyone kept saying that he was just riding coattails. Even on promos, he was just riding Jesse James' coattails.
He was Kip James, right?
Kip James, yes. He was Kip James of the James gang.
Yeah.
That, or whatnot. And then you don't see him for a while. I saw him on the Indies still doing, like he's part of DX.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, find something else, And all this time later, he comes to AEW and he's still doing it, trying to slowly revamp it. And
it's like, dude,
what have you got other than living on the coattails of what made you popular? But you need to revamp.
Yeah.
You're still following coattails, and I'm hoping that they do something different.
You can still go, but you need to go different.
Yes. And I hope that they do something different. You don't know how much time you got left, right, to be able to full on wrestle. So you might as well make the last, 1 to 5, maybe even 10 years if you can do it. But make it something that is you. That's how I see it. Go out better than a memory of something back in the Attitude Era.
It's like you're stuck.
Yes. So then, I don't know who the dude is, but he was on the phone with Roosh.
Oh, that was the assistant.
Jose the assistant?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to get him mixed up. So Roosh was on the phone with him, Jose the assistant, and he wants all his members to go to Mexico because he's like, look, y'all lost to Jack Perry? Y'all look like fools. That dude that I just run roughshod over?
Run through.
No, y'all need to come here. We got to talk about this. And so he wants them all to go to Mexico. And
they did.
Yeah, and they all having fun and chilling. And they got black bagged and taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Car drove off before the dude could smack it to tell it to drive off. But hey, it is what it is. And then Ricky Starks says that he's going to bring chaos to Collision, and he's joined by Big Bill.
Big Bill.
I'm already getting upset when I see this because I enjoyed Big Bill's music. I was enjoying him having a little fun. I thought he had too much fun. And I enjoyed him with Lee Moriarty. And they've killed that. I'm mad about that. Let's just hope they can use him well.
Yeah, they brought him to Collision. Hopefully they use him.
I'm a Big Bill fan.
Because it seemed like they were going to pair him with Cage, but it didn't make any sense because that pairing was only temporary for the sake of this whole
tournament.
Yeah.
So then after that, Ricky Starks, he has his own promo commercial that looks like he's advertising a perfume.
Feel like he's advertising men's cologne, man. It could have been Eternity for Men, but back in the day, the way the commercials used to be, doing wrestling sometimes. I don't know.
Like, what are we advertising here?
What are you trying to do?
So then we got Big Bill versus Derek Neal. Stark's music plays and he gets his full intro, but Bill is the one wrestling.
Yep.
I like Stark's music, but I also enjoy Big Bill's music. You know, that I'd rather Big Bill come out to his music instead of this, you know, Christian Cage version of I'm not holding the belt, but I'm controlling the music.
Yeah. And Ricky looked like a manager in his white shirt and pink slacks.
And if you're the manager, your music shouldn't play.
No, it shouldn't.
Unless you are going to build a faction and it's built around you, and then your music should play.
I think that's what's going to happen.
It'd be nice. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm sure Collision's trying to stay away from a lot of factions. But the match starts at boot kick, choke slam, foot on the chest pin. Stark's music plays. After the match, Starks motions to kneel. Bill pulls him back in. Starks whoops him with the belt a few times. All right. We'll see how this goes. See where this is going, because I don't know who is supposed to be antagonizing. Punk don't care. Punk got his own issues.
Stark said he wants to bring chaos to AEW. So it sounds to me like there is no target.
No target. Something's got to happen. We'll see where it goes.
No specific, no individual target. But yeah, we'll see. See who else he recruits.
I hope he doesn't bring chaos from New Japan, because they're really good at not helping each other do a damn thing.
Yeah.
So they show a clip of Sting and Allen attacking AR Fox in his wrestling school. So revenge. And you hear the people marking out like marks, you know. And then Darby says hold on. They'll all see what Nick Wayne is really capable of. I'm like, we done seen this boy can't wrestle. He can't pro wrestle. We have seen that.
He's very flexible.
He cannot pro wrestle.
He can flip very well.
He had his debut match against Swerve.
He can jump. He can jump too.
He had another match. We've had our chance to see. We've seen him. We done seen all that we'll ever see.
Yeah, he can bleed, but that's like common to anybody.
Yep. Just like Superman and Batman, he bleeds.
Yeah.
So then we get to something more important. We get Willow Nightingale versus Diamante. And I don't know what's wrong with Jim Cornette's eyes, but he was like, but her head barely came to the top rope. Like, nope, she's taller than the top rope. You know, you need to stop looking with your ignorance and start looking, you know, logically. Mm-hmm. So, Willow, she used, you know, raw power to control the opening of the match. Diamante reversed a few things, and soon the match was back and forth. It was pretty much 50-50. Mercedes Martinez, she comes out, and Willow showed a little bit more dominance. During the break, Willow, she's at a great disadvantage because Martinez sounds like she's coaching Diamante.
She is.
At points. So that was really good. Stomp her harder, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Back from the break, they exchanged punches with Willow getting the better of it. Willow, she's on the offense, and the crowd is clearly behind her. Mm-hmm. Diamante finds an opening and hits a standing Shiranui for a 2 count. Willow hits a second rope drop kick, and Martinez pulls Diamante from the ring. Chris Statlander, she runs in and slams Martinez's face into the apron. It looked like she plastered her face onto that apron. Mm-hmm. It looked brutal. Chris suplexes Martinez on the ramp, hurting them both. Willow hits a pounce, throwing Diamante through the air. It was a damn good pounce because Diamante, her legs were kicking in midair. Mm-hmm. So that was a good display right there. The crowd is like fiercely behind Willow again. In the ring, Willow hit the Dangerous Queen bomb, got the 1, 2, 3, and there you go.
Yep.
That was pretty good. In the back, Toni Storm cuts a nice promo when she's being interviewed by Lexi Neer.
Who catches hell.
Yep, and when Toni walked off, I was like, duck, and then something got thrown at her.
Just barely missed her head.
Just barely. It just went right, I mean, like, it was right in the crook right there. Mm-hmm. It hit her hair, but man. Then next we get Powerhouse Hobbs coming to the ring. And you know, for those that don't know, he is obviously a fan of Harlem Heat. Mm-hmm. He's obviously a fan. He even did Booker T's knee strikes. But he's going against Kevin Koo. And the crowd is behind Kevin Koo.
He must be a local boy.
So the crowd is very much behind him. And Kevin is being killed in the ring. And the crowd won't give up on him.
They won't.
Single arm spine buster for the win.
Yeah.
After the match, Hobbs applies the game over camel clutch. calling out for Miro. Miro, he cut a great promo and ended with, "I know you're not godless because you pray to me now." And I'm like, oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. And Hobbs, you can see he got that look like, you know what, man, I'll rip somebody's head off. And that's where he checked the ring to see if dude was still there.
He did. I saw him looking. I said, I hope Coup rolled out. And he was gone. So he won't get further mess up.
So now we get to the main event, the TNT title match. Darby Allin versus Christian Cage. Cage comes out wearing the belt, but it says he's accompanied by the TNT champion Luchasaurus. So there's a hoopla about this. But opening start, Darby Allin outsmarts Christian Cage at a few things in there. But then Cage takes over, goes through the break where Lucha attacks Darby on the outside with Cage distracting the referee. Back from the break, Cage was still taking control, but Allin begins countering with and gets many pin attempts, and I mean a lot of pin attempts before getting cut down. Cage tries to get the Tamakaze on him, but that's reversed into a backslide. You would think, things might be wrapping up, but it's not. Cage Cage shortcuts Allin at the ropes and snaps his head back, and Allin's body just flops back into the ring. It was brutal looking.
It bounces up off the top rope, pendulums beneath the bottom rope, and then he the second rope, and then he bounces off the bottom rope.
Yep, it was like a Looney Tunes double whammy back and forth.
It was a mess.
So Cage, he retains control for a long time. And Darby mounts a comeback, landing the Yoshitonic for a 2 count. Allin pulls Cage's turtleneck over his head for a moment, and then they went jockeying for position in the corner after that, scoring a double knockdown, and they get up on the count of 8. They try again, scoring a double knockdown from dual crossbodies. They got up on 7, and you could tell it was a small line of indie idiots. When the ref would raise his hand, they go, whoa, and then count. So I was like, man, y'all just shut up. That's where I was. It was just annoying. Because what it does is it kills the motif of a wrestling match, a struggle, and it gives the air of it being just outright phony. And it kills others' enjoyment and just being a positive mark and believe that what they're seeing is real. It kills it. It'd be like watching a magic show. So like, yeah, that's fake, right? That's all fake. You got people that'll be like, yeah, I don't want to see this anymore, and walk off, and those be like, shut up.
Just let me enjoy this.
So that's why I don't like it. So Cage pushes Allin from the ring and distracts the ref, and Luchasaurus punches him and punches Darby, knocking him down back from the break. Allin makes a comeback, hitting a springboard reverse shoulder block, which was really nice, as a counter from an Irish whip. That was pretty good. Up top, Darby, he could jump off and attack Cage, but no, instead he just tries to cough and drop on Luchasaurus, who catches him, slings him around. Darby ducks under, runs. Cage comes from around the other side of the ring with a clothesline, just laying Darby flat. And so after the replay, Cage is seated in a chair. This is some stupid indie stuff. I do not like this. But Allin is up top, and she was like, if he missed this, it's going to be bad. Which it would have been, but nope, he lands the diving drop kick on the Cage, knocking him from the chair and whatnot. And then Luchasaurus goes to check on Cage, and Cedric has an issue with it.
Lucha don't talk. Okay? Luchasaurus does not talk. So, if I'm splayed out, you come over to me, leaning over, you're just looking at me because you don't talk. Now, I guess he could be talking, talking under the breath in the small wrestler talk. But it looks stupid to the crowd. It's like it's a waste of motion.
Yeah, Luchasaurus don't talk, so what's he doing? Just kneeling, as you said.
Just kneeling, looking very tense. Well, it's stupid. Take your little big lumbering self back around the ring.
I get it. It's all about what makes sense. And see what you hear from that. See, Cedra's marking for the match, but she knows the history. Luchasaurus doesn't talk. She knows that. So when he goes over there to check on him, it's kind of like, what you checking on? You don't talk.
And he did that stuff early. Like, they were wrestling in the ring. He started slamming his head on the mat. Now, when people are cheering their person on and they slam their hand on the mat, oftentimes they lean forward and they'll say something encouraging, right?
Yeah.
He did all the same motions, but he doesn't talk. So was he just leaning his blackened mouth inside the ring happily? It's stupid. Just walk around looking menacing. Stop encouraging. He don't need no encouragement. He's Christian Cage.
He's Captain Charisma. He's the instant classic. So I get it. I get it. I wonder if in time will he start feeling like he's a big fish in a little pond and go back to WWE, win the Intercontinental title, then become a mid-card comedy act again. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Either way, he's a fish.
Darby goes up for the coffin drop while Cage is because Cage was in the ring. Darby went up. Cage like, nah, I'm going to the you ain't gonna jump on me. Darby opts different, tries to coffin drop on Cage. Luchasaurus yanks Cage from the apron, and Darby hits with a thud on the apron
and bounces off. You
can hear the steel rattling underneath. You can hear the plywood boards rattling against each other. It was brutal. And I know human health wise it is wrong, but to do something that stupid, I can't wait for somebody to get hurt. Then no one will do it because they don't want to be next. You know, in pro wrestling, everything can hurt you. Don't do the things that most likely will.
You should not want to be first.
Yeah, don't be first. Don't be first. And since you won't be first, that don't mean you should be next. You know, just saying. So, back from replay, Cage hits Allen with the belt. Oh, my ad, the referee ejected Luchasaurus from the ring. Mm-hmm. After he pulled, he saved Cage. Nothing wrong with that. Save your buddy. You know?
Ain't his buddy.
I know. But back from the replay, Cage hits Allen with the belt while the ref was distracted from something, couldn't see anything, rolls him into the ring, covers for a 2 count. This is awesome chant is all around right now. Allen fights back, evading the spear, hitting a drop kick in the corner. Allen was knocked from the top rope, but he was trying something. And as soon as he hit, Cage hit him with the spear, 2 count. Allen spins out of the Tamikaze attempt, going for a sunset flip. Over rotates into a jackknife, locks his hands, got the 3 count. Post-match, Schiavone talks to Allen while he's sucking wind, and Luchasaurus comes. He just stands there. Cage hits Allen with the belt from behind. Lucha gets the choke slam. Then Luchasaurus makes Schiavone get on the mat and count 3 as Cage covers Allen. And Schiavone is made to announce Christian Cage as the TNT champion. So that's how they're going to work this. And that's how the show ends.
I'm going to tell you, man, that was a long match.
Yeah.
That was a long match.
Christian Cage led that match. He made sure Darby Allin would have to fight underneath. He did a good job controlling Darby Allin. He let Darby get a few of his things in. I wish he would have let Darby get his Darby Suicida in.
Yes.
But he didn't. So he's probably like, look, save that up for something, you know? So that's pretty good. I thought Christian did a great job guiding Darby Allin. I hope Darby has learned something from this match.
Guided faster.
Yeah.
A lot of this match, think about it.
It was like show filler almost.
But a lot of the match was Christian walking around in circles around Darby.
It was. And then laying down on the mat a lot of times. Yeah.
It was long.
It was a long match.
And I was reminded how long it was when you were just reading through your notes. And these are just notes. I was like,
he's like, how long is this match?
I mean, because it was a decent match, you know, for the most part. But and the crowd was into it. They were all the way live the whole time, which is wonderful, you know. But I don't like Christian. I think that's what it is.
It's got to be, because even though you don't like, look, you don't like Christian Cage, but this match was great. This is a really good match.
It was a good match. I'm not going to say really good, and I'm not going to say great. It was a good match. I've seen Darby have better matches with other people.
okay, Darby didn't have much offense at all. I get that. But old school wise, this is exactly how it would flow. You know, you get the lucky roll up, lock their hands, you got it in tight, you win. And then the bad guy wins in the end. So yeah, you won the match, but you didn't win the war. This thing continues. So they got a reason to go into the next show, you know, with some animosity. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's just not a bad guy I want to see.
I get that. He's not hulking. He's not huge. And he soured you from what he did in TNA.
Oh, yeah, he sucks.
You know, I don't blame him.
Hulking or huge ain't got nothing to do with it. You know, people can't help they don't have an ass. But he sucks.
What does a big butt got to do with big muscles? Really, CJ?
Nothing. You can be scrawny all over and have a big butt.
Oh, my goodness. Just de-evolving into this, huh?
He's got negative ass. Ain't he walking around in that silly tank top with the no sleeves?
Seriously?
Ugh.
I thought he looked good.
I'm glad you were pleased.
He looked like somebody that can hold his own in a fight if he had to.
It was weird. Sleeveless tank top.
You know all tank tops are sleeveless? Did you know that?
I meant a sleeveless turtleneck.
Yeah,
it's a chick garment. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
It's a woman's garment.
Look, everyone, real quick, I just want to say this. I haven't been posting this stuff. This is on YouTube, but I haven't been posting this stuff on YouTube because compare and contrast, Spreaker gives me the ability to make money where YouTube, that's not happening. It's never going to happen. I would have to cheat. Okay. I would have to go to whatever that thing website is that would give me all the subscribers I would need. That's what I would need to do. And then I would hope to have to make enough money from YouTube to cover the cost of doing that constantly, which would really lie about my subscriber count. So come to Spreaker. Listen to the other stuff that we're doing. You know, that's what I ask. I understand it. I've been there too. I used to listen to people and they'd be on Spreaker, but I would watch on YouTube because YouTube is just easier. I get the notification. It's there. I don't have to think about it. It's YouTube. Honestly, it's a blind cult mentality. Go to YouTube, go to YouTube, go to YouTube. It's just YouTube. It's all YouTube. You got to go to YouTube. I get that. But give Spreaker a try because at least I can make something there. I have the potential to make something there where I've got nothing for YouTube. And on Spreaker, just like YouTube, you're just sitting and listening. You know, Spreaker got ads. Yes, I think there'll be 3 ad parts on there. But that's how they can generate the revenue to pay me whatever they can. I've got nothing yet, but I'm trying. Ergo, asking you to simply click over and listen to the other stuff. You know, sign up for Spreaker. It's free. You know, hear us out. Comment, critique, do whatever. You know, we can't get better for you if you don't let us know what you need us to do for you. It's that simple. So with that, it's been Cedric Procedure for CR Wrestling Commentary on AEW's Collision. And with that, y'all be chill, be good, be safe, and we'll see you next time.